Thank you so much, and I'm happy to see you guys. And hopefully, this year you'll be sitting there with a smile on your face.
Ryan's on leave. Can
Oh, I thought there's a mic. Sorry. Coach, could you talk? How has Brie come back from her knee injury? How has she looked in preseason? And is it fair? Can we ever expect her to be the player she was in high school, or does she have to be a different player now?
Well, she had two issues. One was the open heart surgery, and the other was the knee. So I think that person we expected to be able to play was not able to play. But I really like what I see. And of course, we can never, or seldom do we see the player that was in high school that is in college, at least initially. But she's been very impressive. She's been focused. And I think that we're all in for a very, very, very pleasant surprise from her.
Josh Newman from Gannett.
Hi, Coach. Your team played a lot of games in the high 30s, low 40s last year. Do you believe that scoring was a problem last year, and with the graduation losses that you're enduring now, where is the scoring going to come from this season?
Scoring is always an issue, and I think that you might know that that's something that the NCAA has tabbed for all of basketball. And of course, we would like to be able to press more, score. We've got some very athletic people that can get to the rim and knock some shots down. So consider that we had a lot of freshmen, and this year we have no seniors, and we have 65% of our team has gotten a great deal of experience. So I think that a lot of the errors that we made, in particular, had so much to do really with our youth and inexperience. And when I look at the kind of injuries that we had, I don't know that we've ever had a year where we've had so many injuries to so many key players. When you start talking about Monique Oliver, who was supposed to be one of the top 15 players in the country coming into to last year. When you look at our leading rebounder, who was returning from having missed an entire year before. And then, of course, Brianna Canny, who was supposed to be, a major player for us on the floor. So there were three major players that, and I don't know that we really understood until rather late how serious Monique Oliver's injury was. So who she was continues to be who she potentially could be, and that was demonstrated when we had a professional team call us probably 3/4 of the way through the season, recognizing that she wasn't the same player, but that they would come to see her at the Big East because she was just that good. So it was just unfortunate for us to have those kind of injuries. But the good side of it is that 65% of our scoring is coming from players that are returning, and we feel really great about our two freshmen and the experience as well as the return of Brianna Candy. And I like this team a lot because they're energetic, they're focused, they really want to pay attention to detail in a way that I haven't seen from a team in a while. So we're excited. We're really excited about it, and I think you'll see a lot of scoring.
Mike Workman from the Star Ledger.
How are you?
Hi.
What do you expect from Tyler this year, and how good can she be in her first year?
What do I expect from Tyler her first year? We're always very careful to not put too many expectations on any freshman. I think that it's perhaps unfair. I think whatever she gives us, we're going to be really pleased with. But I can tell you right now that she's a great team player. She works extremely hard. She probably is the team's favorite. She's got a great personality, and she is highly skilled. That was demonstrated with her being selected as the most valuable player in the WBCA game. And it'll be interesting, as I was telling her, because she's been tabbed as the preseason freshman of the year, then no one has to be surprised. Everybody's going to really, really, really focus on her. So we just need a young lady that's really focused, is able to take it. And so much of basketball is that mental toughness. So we'll see. Anything that she gives us, we're going to be happy with. But we have a good feeling about her growth. She can score. She can get to the rim. She makes some incredible passes. And she's got ice water in her veins. She really rises to the occasion when big games are here. So we'll look forward to her seeing her do that same thing.
Questions for Coach? Ryan
I'll come back to you, Mike.
That's all right. Coach, how big a year is this for Lainey? She's been a 2-year starter, and now, obviously, without some of the players from last season, it would seem like it's her turn to kind of step into the forefront.
You know, it's interesting you said that. How big is it for Lainey, and is it her time, or does she recognize that it's her time to come to the front? I think that based upon what we as coaches saw, really by the end of the year, it was very obvious to us that this freshman and sophomore class that is now, juniors and sophomores, they began to take the bull by the horns. The initiative that they had in practicing on their own, in conditioning on their own, there are a lot of factors, I think, that speak to our growth, and one of which was, Benijah coming into her junior year, and the fact that while Brianna, was a red shirt, she'll go as a sophomore. The truth of the matter is that she feels herself as a junior. So that was a rather large class. And then, with Chris, who now is one of the tri-captains, there's a different focus. And yeah, Benijah will step into the limelight. But my impression is that all of them are looking forward to changing the way we felt last year and being different. And historically, Rutgers has been known to be that team that has the greatest turnarounds in the history of the NCAAs. So it doesn't really stress me out because I know that last year was a very unusual year for us. We didn't have those kind of experiences with regards to injuries, and it certainly didn't happen to the major players and have the effect that it did. But I can tell you that the way this team is practicing, I and the coaching staff come on the floor with a great deal of excitement because these guys are just ready to work and get it done. So, and Benijah's, leading that charge. So, she knows it's important.
Mike Workmouth from the Star Ledger.
You mentioned that you want your teams to be detail oriented, and a few of your players said it takes a while to kind of see the details like you do. How do you get them to recognize and get them to play as detail oriented as you'd like?
Mike, you know what? It's interesting. Let me tell you this. Some people know what they don't know, and there are others that don't even know what they don't know. Okay? The good part about this team is I think we know what we don't know now, and that's important. Because whether it's, let me give you an example. Cappy Pondexter came to visit us last year, right? And we may have asked that question, we being our team, may have asked the question, well, what's the importance of the detail, whether it's a screen, a freeze on a screen, a stepping out? Well, Cappy and the rest of us know that it makes all the difference in the world in terms of whether or not you're going to get yourself free. Well, either we pay attention to that or we don't. But this year, as she sat there and she could see the level of intensity that we were going at with regards to practicing, rebounding, understanding what it is that we have to pay attention to. It has everything to do with growing up. I think that the vast majority of this team, I know that the vast majority of our team are young people, and they needed to go through that phase. So they've grown up. We don't like the feeling that we had. And so now we pay attention. When I stop and I say, ladies, this is what is happening now, they're listening carefully. We can see them try to implement and get things done. And I think that we now know what we didn't know before. And there's no way to actually cause a person to have experience and get those experiences unless you have a number of veteran players who can show the way with their own leadership. And in that, the veteran players, those 3 veteran players, including Erica, were hurt the vast majority of the year. So they really weren't on the floor to make a huge difference. Now these young people have learned, and they're leading the way, and I can see that, and I'm happy to see that, and you'll see it too.
Danny Breslauer from RVision.
Coach, 2 of the players toward the end of the year that really showed a leap forward were your true point in Syasins Davis and a true post in Rachel Holloway. How have you seen their development in the offseason, those 2 specifically?
Well, I mean, and that's a case in point. Essie, she was never meant to be a point guard, as you know. But you saw her. I mean, she took the bull by the horns, and she's practiced. She's got a nice shot. She's consistent with it. She's always been an extremely tough defensive player. She's listening. She understands the importance of the clock and all the other things that, as a rule, everyone should understand, but in particular, a point guard would understand. So the thing I was telling the team is that I don't see them hesitate. They hear each other. I don't see them hesitate to make the second or third or fourth, fifth pass. And they're easily able to communicate with one another. And each person has brought their talents. And that has everything to do with the kind of practice that they've been having on their own, whether it's playing in Suddenly Warbling or playing out here and playing with the guys. But yes, she has. Rachel Holloway was a freshman, obviously, last year. She knows what she needs to do. And as you know, she'd had an eye injury, so that accounts for a lot of things that are happening on certain sides of the floor with her. But this girl she's an incredibly talented athlete, and you will see that. So we'll make sure that she's exposed. We've got a lot of talent, good talent, but no one who is out of place in terms of understanding their importance. I know that we know the importance of all of us, coaches, players, and everyone, doing what we need to do and do what we do best, and that is play together, recognize that we always have things to learn, and I can honestly say that we do know that. And Holloway will show up. Chris is a year older, a lot more experience than what she has had. We do have some people that have had some injuries right from the beginning, but it's not going to make a big difference because they'll be fine by the time we get ready to start the season.
Questions for Coach Stringer?
Yes.
Greg from the Targum.
Coach, you talked about Tyler. How about with Alex? What do you see from her? How do you feel like you think she could play a vital role offensively this year for you guys with her ability to shoot the threes?
She's going to play a major role. Alex is going to play a major role. You know, she's a winner. She's played on teams that have been part of winning tradition, and that's one first big step. But she represents that outside three-point shot. And that's probably when we start talking about, well, how have we changed? She does represent that three-point shot. The same thing with Precious. Precious is also that person that we believed all along that she could shoot and shoot well at that range, and she's demonstrating that. Make no mistake about it, Tyler Scaife is going to come with some serious scoring. I mean, she can get to the rim quicker than you can blink, period. But what makes her dangerous is that she can also hit that outside shot. So you have to be very careful when you're approaching her. There will be those kinds of differences. Kalia Copper is a much improved shooter. She was really playing the 4, which was the inside position at the high school level. So we were making a transition with her. The same thing with Benaja. She was playing more of an inside player. She's outside. She's comfortable, in playing the outside position. And now she has the flexibility and the versatility to play inside or outside. So these same people, you might see the same names, but you're going to see a different play from them. And that makes a huge difference.
Questions for Coach Stringer? If we don't have any other questions, we'll wrap that up. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks. We'll look forward to seeing you guys a little bit later, and I think you'll be real happy.